let's just jump right into this, where I've just landed into HKIA on Scoot from Singapore. I'll be here for 3 days and I'm traveling with my friend Zen. Yes, that's his name, and there's nothing much to do in an airport, so we hopped on the Airport Express to head to Hong Kong Island. We got the 3-day Airport Express pass, which meant free travel on the MTR Hong Kong's metro system and the Airport Express itself. Once at Hong Kong Station on this early morning, well, obviously the first thing to do was go get some breakfast. This meant wandering a bit through the districts of Central and Sheung Wan. I stayed here the last time I visited HK, so everything is really familiar. We entered this little shop that served congee or rice porridge, and I got mine with beef and youtiao, which is this crunchy Chinese snack that I got in Penang last time. After that, full and content, we kept walking on, seeing much of what I'd seen a few years back, including the 150-year-old Manmao Temple, a small establishment in the district. Now, Zen is a car enthusiast and he was on the lookout for exotic cars. So we finally walked all the way past Sheung Wan to board the MTR at Sai Ying Pun and head back to Central. At Central, we walked over to the International Finance Center, or IFC, which is the second tallest building in HK. Also to have a look at the IFC Mall, although everything is too expensive for us to buy anything really. Here's where Hong Kong's first Apple store is as well. We were on the move once again to head back to Central Station and board the MTR to Lok Fu Station in central Kowloon. This was primarily because Zen had some car-related stuff to do, and I tagged along to have a look at the Kowloon City walled park along the way. The park isn't that big, but for me it's hard to believe that this is Hong Kong after being used to the crowded streets that one usually sees. I mean, it was really quiet and calm here. It was then a bus back to Kowloon, where we got off at Nathan Road near Jordan to get lunch. Now, this place is one of the most famous places to eat here, and other people are aware as well because the queue doesn't stop until the next street. So we decided to settle for a less crowded outlet of Max Noodle, which is also sort of famous. And the thing to get here is wonton noodles, and I devoured the stuff on my plate because it was delicious. So after that lunch, we walked just a little more, reached the place we were staying, dumped our bags and took a little rest. One little nap later, we left our little room and were on the MTR bound again for Central. We were at the bus depot waiting to take bus 15, which would drop us all the way on top of Victoria Peak. I mean, this is something you can't miss when you're in Hong Kong, and the view on top is simply stunning. And I still think the nighttime view is better. Not really interested in anything else over here. We caught the same bus back and then traveled to Prince Edward MTR to get dinner. Wanting to eat more Cantonese food, we got dim sum at this well-known place called One Dim Sum. There was a little wait of around 20 to 30 minutes, but the food was really worth it. I got fried char siu dumplings and char siu pao, both being pork-based dishes. As with lunch, dinner too was amazingly good. I was incredibly tired and woke up quite late. And when Zen, he does that to troll me by the way, came back from more car related stuff, we headed out in the afternoon. We travelled one stop on the MTR to East Tsim Sha Tsui and walked just a little to have a look at the island side view. And also can't forget the old Kowloon railway station clock tower.
It's an iconic sight to see. It was unfortunately quite hazy today, so the view wasn't the greatest, but for me I enjoyed it quite a lot anyway. It would have been nice to take a ferry across the bay, but we decided to do it at a later time. After that, we had a long walk along northwest through the crowded streets. This was to head to the Hong Kong Museum of History. I'm someone who enjoys museums a lot. Well, Zen not so much, but I find that I visit a local museum wherever I go. It's sort of a must. Unfortunately, they don't allow filming within the museum, so here are a lot of photos instead. Most of the exhibits were really interesting. I especially liked the ones from the 1800s onwards, showing colonial occupation. About this time, it was just touching 4 PM and lunch was well overdue. We already had a place in mind quite nearby, so it was just another walk towards Tsim Sha Tsui, where we struggled a little to find our tiny little place, which was Sun Ki Noodle. And they're famous for their cheese noodle, where the entire base is a creamy cheese sauce, and mine came with pork strips in it. It was lovely on this cold afternoon, and I wish I could go back and have another bowl, honestly. We are MTR hopping once again to go to Mong Kok. The trains are severely overcrowded at this peak hour. Now the streets of Mong Kok are a lively place and there's a lot of stuff to look at and buy. While shopping was not on my list of things to do in Hong Kong, seeing all of the colorful neon signs and shops kind of makes you want to buy something, and I bought an SD card. Although this did come in handy later. Right behind the main streets is the ladies market, where you can get all sorts of cheap clothes and souvenirs that you'd expect to see. So after roaming around a while, it was another time to get another MTR ride. Okay, the MTR is probably my favorite public transport system. It is well organized and convenient as compared to other metro systems such as the SMRT or Delhi Metro. Well, this was just my opinion though. The purpose of this MTR ride was to catch the Symphony of Lights, which is another Hong Kong icon which you can't really miss. The Symphony of Lights takes place at the same spot that we viewed the bay from. Along the way was the Peninsula Hotel, which is sort of a landmark. Wish I was staying there instead of at our cramped room. And of course, I'm going to say that the night view over the bay is better than the daytime one. Okay, the show itself isn't that impressive. I mean, it's quite hard to differentiate the normal skyline from the one with the Symphony of Lights. The only difference being a few laser lights really. It's more so sort of something you say you've done in Hong Kong rather than a proper attraction in itself. So they have this new thing called the Hong Kong Pulse 3D show at the same place. The show takes place right after the Symphony of Lights, but I didn't really find it interesting and left early. Okay, let's get dinner. It was Zen's turn to pick, and the place he had in mind was just a short walk away. We were going to be spending a bit of money and eating at a proper restaurant, or the Michelin-starred Tsim Sha Tsui outlet of Din Tai Fung, which is now a chain serving these little dumplings with soup in them called Xiaolong Bao. It wasn't too crowded at this time, even though it was Sunday evening. I can't remember the last time I had something so amazingly good as the Xiaolong Bao. It's just so juicy and delicious, and the meat inside, I cannot. Time skip! Back at the hotel area, we got some stuff at a bakery, and I got an egg tart which was also great. The food in Hong Kong really cannot let you down. I mean, you can try, but it cannot. And with that, another day had ended at HK. This would be my final day in Hong Kong, and Zen and I parted ways at our hotel, hoping to meet later for lunch. My plan for today was to initially hit the campus of the University of Hong Kong. Getting there was just a quick 20-minute MTR ride for me.
HKU is one of the most prestigious universities in the world, and I just decided to explore it a little. The campus is situated on Hong Kong Island and is quite big. I was though too hungry to wander too far, so I ended up getting breakfast at one of the HKU canteens. This was a reading week on the campus, so there were no classes going on and the whole environment felt quite empty. But it felt nice seeing something other than just the mainstream attractions that people usually go for in HK. So after this, it was on the MRT once again. The HKU MRT station is only accessible via lifts, which is quite interesting to note. I was on the MTR headed for Causeway Bay to go to the Sogo outlet and buy some stuff. Mostly just instant noodles though. Outside Causeway Bay, it was very busy with a lot of people around. What's cool is they had this exhibition on Star Wars right outside Times Square Shopping Center. After walking around a bit more, I hopped on the MTR and traveled a few stops to get off at Wan Chai and walked all the way to the Golden BAUHINIA Square where the ceremonies for the establishment of the Hong Kong SAR were held. The BAUHINIA is also the national flower of Hong Kong. It's a really touristy area with people trying to take photos next to the statue, so I headed further down and took a seat with a view over Victoria Bay, looking out towards the Kowloon side. Well, that part of the island looks quite plain compared to the side I'm on. I then caught the MTR one stop to rendezvous with Zen at the IFC Mall. He was already there and had been there an hour earlier, but it wasn't that I was late, he had just arrived quite early, so no problems. It was just about time for lunch and we had planned this out as well, so we caught the MTR for a stop to get off at Sheung Wan. After a little struggle to find the place, walking through the easily confusing streets of this area of Hong Kong, which he had walked through on the first day, we finally arrived at this shop called Noodle. The queue was astonishingly long and we had to wait for a good 30 minutes. This shop is famous for its beef noodles and I got a bowl with strips in it. The soup was flavorful and the beef was quite juicy. Overall, another great meal in HK and also our last here. So after that, it was time to try another form of transport in HK and we hopped on a old-fashioned tram for a few stations. The tram has remained unchanged over 100 years and is the only double-decker tram system in the world. It's also the cheapest way to travel around Hong Kong. Probably the most exciting as well. We got off in front of the impressive headquarters of the HSBC. Just a bit further was the Bank of China building, which is also a big feature in the Hong Kong skyline. There is an observation deck on one of its floors which was unfortunately closed at the time, which meant we couldn't go up and have a look from above. Meh. Walking further on, we made our way towards the Central Ferry Pier to finally catch a ride on the Star Ferry. Along the way was the IFC Tower once again, and we passed the Apple store we had visited the other day. The Star Ferry cost 2 Hong Kong dollars for the ride across to the Kowloon side. This is also another iconic form of transportation in Hong Kong, and the views on the ferry are simply amazing. It's a shame that these modes of transport have become sort of irrelevant with the subway system in place now. And with that, it was over. Time to go back to the airport and catch our flight to Singapore. We had a little trouble finding our way back to the airport because we were trying to maximize our 3-day express pass. But anyway, it was a splendid little 3 days in Hong Kong. My only gripe would be that the temperature was insanely cold and I was shivering most of the time. Okay, it wasn't that bad, but it would have been better if it was just a bit warmer, I guess. I certainly miss the food now, a month later, but there's always a chance to go back sometime in the future. Till then, thanks for watching.